Oh man, this is going to be a funny beef to cover for many different reasons. Number one, we're talking about a dispute between two men that both clock in at a height of under 5'5". Kendrick Lamar and Lil Wayne are ironically the same height at a respectable 5 feet and 4 inches, but these short kings share a lot more in common than you think. Undisputedly, at one point or another, amidst both their primes, Kendrick Lamar and Lil Wayne both held the title of being the greatest rapper alive on planet Earth. But Lil Wayne's prime came far before Kendrick Lamar was ever even known beyond his hometown of Compton. And when Lil Wayne was in that prime way back in 2007, 2008, he played a pivotal role in shaping the artistic identity of Kendrick Lamar. I'm going to show you guys very soon in this video. Kendrick admits many different times on many different occasions that Lil Wayne was one of his greatest inspirations. But as you guys probably know, yesterday when Kendrick released his latest album, he had some bars for both Lil Wayne
used to bump the Carter 3, I held my rolly chain proud. Irony, I think my hard work let Lil Wayne down.
And Snoop Dogg when he rapped,
Posted tailor-made, I prayed it was the edibles. I couldn't believe it, it was only right for me to let it go.
Now, his mention of Snoop Dogg was in reference to the fact that after Drake dropped his tailor-made freestyle where he rapped using Tupac and Snoop Dogg AI vocals, Tupac actually shared the song on his Instagram, and Kendrick Lamar is surprised that Snoop would lend a platform to such disrespect, and he chalks it up to Snoop just taking a little too many edibles beforehand. And Snoop responded to this call out in a tasteful way on Twitter, understanding the humor behind it by tweeting out, "K-Dot's new album is fire, it was the edibles, West King." But Lil Wayne, on the other hand, did not respond in the most tasteful way, and as a matter of fact, his actions for the last few months, ever since Kendrick Lamar was chosen to headline the 2025 Super Bowl show, have not been tasteful at all. As recently as last week at his own festival in New Orleans, he told the audience that the opportunity to perform at the Super Bowl was taken away from him. And when it was first announced back in September that Kendrick would be headlining the Super Bowl show, it took Lil Wayne almost a week to even gather up the courage to respond to the fact that he wasn't chosen, and he got on Instagram Live and made an extremely depressing video stating that he was broken. He had to pick the pieces of his soul and put them back together. He looked like he had been smoking either way too many backwoods or he was crying for the last couple days because he wasn't chosen. And instead of congratulating Kendrick Lamar for being the first rapper to headline the Super Bowl by themselves, Lil Wayne decided to make the moment about himself and act like he was robbed of something. And you know what the most ironic part is? Kendrick Lamar has a song on this record called The Heart Part 6. There's a lot of reasons why it's ironic that he named it The Heart Part 6. However, something he says in there is that J-Rock was first poised to be the first superstar out of the TDE label. Before Kendrick Lamar, before Schoolboy Q, it was supposed to be J-Rock that was the guy. So they were doing a lot of press and putting a lot of resources into making sure he became a superstar. One of the moves they made was actually getting J-Rock a feature from Lil Wayne on his first single back in 2008. Kendrick Lamar was also featured on that record, and he said watching Wayne in the studio record that verse back in 2008 was one of the things that drove him to become a better rapper, a more efficient rapper, etc. We're going to be covering all the different times that Kendrick Lamar has praised Lil Wayne throughout the years. But on that new record, The Heart Part 6, again, Kendrick talks about J-Rock being the first superstar off TDE, but an important thing he said is that every time J-Rock achieves a new milestone, accomplished something new within his career, it wasn't just a win for J-Rock, it was a win for the entire TDE record label. It meant they were one step closer to achieving their overall mission. And I can't help but see the duality behind Kendrick Lamar feeling like J-Rock getting Lil Wayne feature was also an accomplishment for him, and Lil Wayne refusing to see that Kendrick Lamar getting the honor of performing on the Super Bowl stage as the first solo headlining rapper is not just a win for Kendrick, but it's a win for Lil Wayne as well. It's a win for the entirety of hip-hop. It opens the door for more opportunity for rappers in the future to be able to headline shows of their own. Anyways, again, there's a lot of reasons why it's funny that these two are beefing, and kind of sucks for me because these are two of my favorite rappers of all time. I grew up on Lil Wayne, and then Kendrick Lamar's run came right when Lil Wayne's was kind of simmering down. But anyways, this Kendrick Lamar record was basically him saying that he used to bump Lil Wayne. Lil Wayne used to be a huge inspiration, and the irony is that with all the accomplishments Kendrick has received this year from his hard work, from him stomping on Drake's grave, essentially, Drake obviously being the protege of Lil Wayne, all that hard work he put in and the success he generated from it allowed Kendrick Lamar to receive the honor of performing at the Super Bowl, which has resultingly left Lil Wayne feeling like he's been cheated. So Lil Wayne must have caught wind of these bars because this morning at about 4 a.m. Eastern time, he tweeted out, "Man, what the F did I do? I just be chilling and they still come for my head. Let's not take kindness for weakness. Let this giant sleep, I beg you all. No one really wants destruction, not even me, but I shall destroy if disturbed. On me, love. Now, drop a like for my Tunechi impression, and if you stick around to the end of the video, you'll hear Kendrick Lamar doing his best Lil Wayne impression. So stick around and then let me know in the comments who did it better, me or K-Dot. But back to this tweet, man. This tweet is weird for many different reasons. Number one, Weezy says he's just chilling and people still come for his head. Number one, no, you're not just chilling. Just chilling would have meant you stayed absolutely silent when Kendrick Lamar announced he'd be performing at the Super Bowl. Even if you were pissed off, you don't necessarily have to congratulate the guy, but just be chilling and staying out the way would have been not saying a word. He also didn't come for your head. If you want to know what coming for your head looks like from Kendrick Lamar, then look no further at your buddy Drake. Look no further than at the top of the Billboard charts and you'll see a #1 song where he's calling your protege a PDF file. That's coming for your head. What Kendrick said on this record was essentially, I used to look up to Lil Wayne. I used to bump the Carter 3 when I was still on the come up. And ironically, now all the hard work I put in, the accomplishments I've received, have left Lil Wayne feeling jealous, like he deserves the opportunities that I've worked hard to receive. And instead of congratulating me, he's acting like a bitter little kid. And don't get me wrong, like I said earlier in this video, Lil Wayne is one of the greatest rappers of all time, in my opinion. The first album I bought on CD was The Carter 2, which ironically has a very similar album cover to Kendrick Lamar's new album, GNX. Both of them feature these two short kings leaning up against a car. And I had said I did think Lil Wayne would make a great Super Bowl performer if he brought out all the different artists that he's put on throughout his career and made it like a Lil Wayne and Friends show, similar to how Dr. Dre did a couple years back. I also think because it's in his hometown, he would get a lot more love. And for you people who leave these same comments under every video I make on this subject, yes, I'm aware that Dr. Dre was the only time where they had an artist headline the Super Bowl show in their hometown. I'm just saying he would receive more love in New Orleans than anywhere else. Look at the festival he just did. He sold out like a 30,000 plus arena in New Orleans. He couldn't do that anywhere else. He also, I don't think, would be able to do the entire Super Bowl show on his own. His music isn't family friendly enough. He hasn't put out enough hits as of recently for a crowd of all different demographics to resonate with the performance. His older hits have a lot more vulgar subject matter, and while I could bump them, I can't see my dad watching the Super Bowl and hearing Lil Wayne perform Lollipop and being impressed by it. But he's done so many features, so many different freestyles on legendary songs off his mixtapes. He's put on so many artists like Drake, Nicki Minaj, Tyga. Like, if it was a Lil Wayne and Friends show, 100% for nostalgia purposes, at least for me, I would prefer to see that over a solo Kendrick Lamar show. However, I have another video touching on this. Lil Wayne's voice is not also in the best shape to be performing on a stage that big. Like, I don't know what happened, but his voice has got way more high pitch. He almost sounds tone deaf at times. I'm going to spare your ears in this video, but if you want to see for yourself, look up Lil Wayne performs Pop That in 2024 and you'll see what I'm talking about. I don't think that deserves to be on the Super Bowl stage over Kendrick Lamar in 2024, especially considering the year that he's had. So Lil Wayne, as much as I love him, should not have felt entitled to be the Super Bowl headliner in 2025. But then he continues saying here, let this giant sleep, I beg you all. No one really wants destruction, not even me, but I shall destroy if disturbed. Now, I don't know if I'm tripping, but this sounds like the most confident Wayne has ever been to enter a rap battle than I've ever seen him before. If you guys remember any of the rap battles that Lil Wayne has been a part of in the past, then you're lying to yourself because he hasn't been a part of any. Lil Wayne has had very few beefs with different rappers in the past. Yes, he's thrown a couple shots at a couple different rappers, but we've never flat out heard him say, let this giant sleep, no one wants destruction, but I shall destroy if I'm disturbed. He's never come out and been that aggressive. When Jay-Z threw shots at him on Ham, saying that Weezy and Birdman didn't even have as much money as his wife Beyonce, Wayne was asked about it in an interview and said, Jay-Z's right, I can't box with the god, I don't have as much money as him. However, he did come back with a couple subliminal shots threatening to capture Beyonce the same way Bowser in Mario captures Princess Peach. But like, we know he's not doing that, so these bars are so, playful or fiction-like that it's hard to even categorize them as a diss. It's like, he wasn't dissing Jay-Z, he was threatening to capture Jay-Z's wife, but not throwing any personal attacks or insults directly at Jay. Instead, he was saying that he could never compete with Jay on a money level. Then you had 50 Cent, who had threw a couple jabs at Lil Wayne in the past, calling him an HOE for doing features with any artist. And a song had leaked from Lil Wayne where he rapped, I'm all about $1, F 2 quarters. I pour syrup in that vitamin water. 50 Cent was the main sponsor for vitamin water back then. So that was a little clever jab at 50, but it was a leaked record. And when he was asked about it in interviews, Lil Wayne again walked everything back. He said, I don't want problems with 50 Cent. 50 Cent's a maniac when it comes to beefing. I'm smart. I don't want beef with 50 Cent. I'm staying out of that. I don't know anything about no leaked record. Then you had Gilly the Kid, who was making insane allegations against Lil Wayne for years. He used to be signed to Cash Money Records. He claims he was writing for Lil Wayne. For Birdman, he wrote the entirety of the Carter 1 album. Lil Wayne never responded directly to Gilly. However, this was when Lil Wayne was at his peak. This was like 2006, 2007. So he did throw some of his most refined, double entendre-filled sneak disses at Gilly throughout his mixtape, The Drought 3. I have a whole video on all of these Lil Wayne beefs. I don't really know why I'm kind of going into them in detail. I could post that in the link in the description. But essentially, Lil Wayne is very much known to avoid rap beefs. The only time we've really seen him on wax, poke his neck out or his chin out or whatever the expression is when Pusha T released Exodus 23:1, where he was mainly going at Drake, saying that you're signed to one guy, Lil Wayne, who's signed to another guy, Birdman, who's signed to another guy, Universal Music Group. That's bad luck. That's a recipe for disaster. He was warning Lil Wayne and Drake about a lot of what was to come with their finances and their label situations in the years to come. And at the time, this was the only time that Lil Wayne didn't play dumb or play clueless to the shots that were being thrown at him. But he probably should have, because this was when Lil Wayne was kind of on the decline lyrically. This is when he was in his like I'm Not a Human Being 2 era. He was more focused on skating than he was rapping, and he released a little diss track against Pusha T called Goulash, where he said, F Pusha T and anybody that love him. His head's up his butt, I'ma have to headbutt him. So him telling Kendrick Lamar, who just released Not Like Us, Meet the Grams, Euphoria, and Like That, to let this giant sleep, and no one really wants destruction, but he'll destroy if he's disturbed. As much as I love Lil Wayne, and as much as I think he's still at the top of his game lyrically in 2024, he's never been ready for a battle. He's never participated in a battle. He's always played clueless when it comes to other credible rappers trying to egg him on into a battle. So this response is just extremely out of character, especially for someone who is always playing clueless. But there's a reason for everything, and the reason for why Lil Wayne could have felt so insulted by Kendrick simply saying that he let one of his previous idols down is actually not because of the bars where he names Lil Wayne directly, but possibly the bars that follow it. See, Kendrick doesn't only talk about Lil Wayne being disappointed that he got the honor of performing at the Super Bowl, but he also talks about how a lot of other major rappers expressed their disappointment as well. The only one to congratulate him was Nas. However, instead of feeling sorry for himself, Kendrick Lamar emphasizes that a lot of these rappers are far past their primes and are probably hating just because they can't be in the position Kendrick's in. He raps, all these guys agitated, I'm just glad they're showing their faces. Quite frankly, plenty artists, but they're all outdated. Old flows trying to convince me that you're their favorite. It's possible that Lil Wayne heard these bars and felt insulted more at the fact that Kendrick is talking about outdated rappers with old flows right after mentioning Lil Wayne. But actually, scratch that. I don't think Lil Wayne heard this song. I don't think Lil Wayne heard anything. Lil Wayne is in his own world. Lil Wayne doesn't listen to outside hip-hop. He's mentioned this infinite times before. If you're a fan of Lil Wayne, you know that he's in his own world. You know that he mainly only listens to himself. And if you've watched any interviews of his Young Money artists like Jay Millz or Lil Twist or his manager Cortez Bryant or the president of Young Money, Mac Main, then you know that any of the outside information Lil Wayne gets about hip-hop comes from his camp. I could be wrong, but I believe it was Lil Twist who showed Lil Wayne that Pusha T was dissing him and Drake. And I think it's the same thing with the Super Bowl and with this record. I think someone had told Lil Wayne that, hey, you know, Kendrick is mentioning you in not the most positive light on this new song. Or, hey, I know you mentioned in the past you wanted to perform the Super Bowl. Kendrick Lamar, the same guy who was stomping on your protege Drake all summer, is now about to perform there in your hometown, New Orleans. Like, by the time Lil Wayne even commented on the Super Bowl, we had already heard from Master P, Birdman, Cameron, Nicki Minaj, and more, who were all saying that Lil Wayne deserved it. So if I had to guess, Lil Wayne probably had no idea they even announced the Super Bowl headliner, but with all the discourse going on about him deserving it more than Kendrick, he was probably gassed up. He probably found out from someone around him that Kendrick got it. He also probably found out later than the entire world that Kendrick Lamar was dissing his protege Drake, and all that coupled together made Lil Wayne have the entitled reaction that he had. And he's continuing the entitlement by tweeting things out like, "No one really wants destruction, not even me, but I shall destroy if disturbed." Like, what makes you feel entitled to get in a back and forth with the guy who just destroyed your protege and wouldn't even give him the chance to release another diss record before he would release another one of his own? Drake dropped Family Matters, Kendrick dropped Meet the Grams. Then he dropped Not Like Us. He dropped like 5 diss records back to back. You think you have the stamina at this point in your career to compete with someone like that who is on this type of energy when you're in the later half of your career and this guy is arguably in his prime right now? I mean, again, I grew up on Lil Wayne, right? Like, if I had to be on a deserted island with one artist to listen to, I'd probably choose Lil Wayne just because of the nostalgia factor there. And I think he is arguably the most influential hip-hop artist alongside Kanye West of this entire generation. I think he's brought a lot more influence to the game than Kendrick Lamar has, but at this point in time, let's not pretend Lil Wayne deserves the Super Bowl or could engage in a back and forth with Kendrick Lamar in 2024. Yeah, it's just weird hearing him sound, so ready for beef, for a back and forth. He used to be so passive about it. He was very dismissive about wanting beef with anyone who tried to come at him, whether it was Pusha T, 50 Cent, Jay-Z, Gilly the Kid, Juvenile, whoever. So to have this energy with Kendrick is just a little weird. Maybe it's a respect your elders type of thing. Like, Lil Wayne might know how much influence he's had on Kendrick. He might have known all the love that Kendrick has showed him in the past and possibly feels insulted because of that. Like, I've done so much for your career. I've given you so much influence. I've given you features back in 2008 when you were a nobody. Now you're going to talk to me like I'm beneath you. I don't know. I don't think Lil Wayne really knows what's going on here. I think someone probably misguided him or fed him some misinformation like, oh, Kendrick was really coming at your head. When, again, Kendrick was just saying Lil Wayne was a huge inspiration for him, like a lot of other rappers. And he feels like the accomplishments he's had have just let Lil Wayne down. Case in point, let's go through all the different times throughout the years Kendrick Lamar has shown love to Wayne and talked about how much Wayne has influenced him. There was this time right here.
I go all the way back to the Hot Boy days, and being 13, listening to this dude, just remembering the staple that he put on the game back then, all the way to now, to have that longevity years behind it. So for him, to actually acknowledge, what I'm doing right now, it's a great feeling to actually share that same stage and that same moment with him, He influenced a lot of styles, and I could say I was influenced by a certain sound and the flow and the cadence, that he brought to the game, which was very unique. Me being a young boy in the game and listening to him like, yo, I need to learn this and that.
Then there was this time where this radio host was kind of crapping on Wayne's rapping ability, and Kendrick Lamar quickly defended him and then did his best Lil Wayne impersonation.
Who would you want to impersonate?
Jay-Z, probably Lil Wayne. I can do a great
My girl!
I don't look at Lil Wayne as like, it's not like I think he's the best rapper. It's just, he's
wild
such an alien that I'm just in awe.
Lil Wayne is a legend. People forget a lot of work he put in.
Yeah.
And, what he's done for the hip-hop culture, it's phenomenal. Yeah, we was that right there on that 5, you dig what I'm saying, that day. We did the Carter 5, we did the Carter 4, and I was with Baby and them, yeah.
Again, let me know in the comments who did it better, me or Kendrick Lamar. Then you had this quote from 2018 where Kendrick was talking about the moment that he got in the studio with Lil Wayne in 2008 when Lil Wayne recorded that feature for him and J-Rock. And Kendrick had said, that moment in the studio with Lil Wayne, I never told Wayne this, that changed my perspective about work ethic. Knocked out about 12 verses, and this is feature Wayne at the moment. And these are not no mother effing fly-by-night verses. This is set right there and thought out right in front of your face, and smashing them, and he's excited about it, and he's loving music, and he loves what he's doing. That gave me a whole other appreciation, and we took that same intensity and work ethic and applied it moving forward. Then there was a time in 2015 when Kendrick tweeted out an appreciation post for Lil Wayne and Lil B's influence on the game, writing, "Thank you, Bass God, teaching all of us how to swag in videos. You and Lil Wayne are the most influential. Thank you, Bass God." Then there was another moment in 2015 when Wayne was going through some legal issues with Cash Money, his record label, and he threatened to retire because he was just kind of burnt out. And Kendrick Lamar got a little drunk on Instagram Live, started bumping old Lil Wayne music, like Lil Wayne music that you probably don't even know, Hot Boys days, like 1997, 17-year-old Lil Wayne, just to show you how far back Kendrick goes with Lil Wayne's catalog and what he means to him. And he's just drunk kind of rapping these bars on Instagram Live and yelling at Wayne through the camera to not retire because the game needs him.
When I come through, the ladies praise me or something because they know how we play. Squad up, niggas talking about squad up. That's cliche. We going all the way back when he was motherfucking 16, 15 years old. Some hot boy shit. Day one, I'm about to retire and this shit. Fuck that. Retire, quit and rap, whatever you want to call it. Fuck that. Don't bother me.
Then there was a time where he did an interview saying, "We were just huge, still to this day, huge Lil Wayne fans. Lil Wayne is the greatest, not only because of his music, but also because of the culture he put behind it. It was a big part of what he was talking about. So we always hold Lil Wayne in high regards. Juvenile as well. And yeah, it's the impact of them, man. To be a part of it the same way he was a part of it years later is just a great feeling." Then there's the fact that right after Lil Wayne released the Carter 3, Kendrick Lamar released a mixtape called C4 where he was freestyling over a bunch of old Lil Wayne beats, very similar to how Lil Wayne used to do with Jay-Z beats back in the day, and he was doing his best Lil Wayne impression. Like, imagine how much of a fan you gotta be of someone to dedicate an entire mixtape to them, freestyle majority over all of their beats, name the title of the mixtape after their album series, copy the artwork. I mean, even on this new record, Kendrick is possibly paying homage to Lil Wayne's Carter 2 album artwork, with the GNX album artwork, who knows? But I don't know, man. This just seems like someone who's disappointed that one of their greatest inspirations doesn't approve of the work they put in or the accomplishments they've received, while on the other hand, Lil Wayne seems to be playing Kendrick Lamar for a little kid. But I mean, I guess the saying's true. Sometimes your idols become your rivals. And I think the YouTuber slash rapper Screwface John summed this up best in a tweet he put out today saying, "To Lil Wayne, look, you're one of my goats. So let me try to explain this a bit nicer and more concise than others are. The song Whacked Out Murals is a metaphor for what you and some of others in the industry did. They made a mural for K-Dot in Cali to celebrate him for all he's done, especially for the West Coast and hip-hop in general. And while everyone was congratulating him and celebrating his moment, some ultra-hating ass guys went and crossed it out because they probably couldn't stand the love he was getting, and so that he can tell his people, I did that, making the moment about him. This, in essence, is what you did to K-Dot after the Super Bowl announcement. Him being the first solo hip-hop artist to take that stage is a win for the culture, no matter where it was located. Instead of showing him any love, you made the moment about you and how you felt something was taken from you, even though it was never promised you in the first place, which also makes you come across as very entitled. That's not the Wayne I grew up on or the Wayne I love. Also, just my opinion after being fans of both of you forever, just leave Kendrick alone on the battle tip. You are one of the best lyricists to ever touch the mic, but you never were really a battle rapper, which is a different skill entirely, and clearly K-Dot was built for battle rap. I still love you, but the last month or so have been a nasty look. I hope this helps to explain it a bit better." And I think that summarizes things perfectly. Lil Wayne, who was once self-proclaimed as misunderstood, now seems to be greatly misunderstanding the moment that's occurring within hip-hop. He also rapped at one of his concerts saying, "They don't like us, in the same tune as Kendrick rapped, "They not like us." But it doesn't seem like Lil Wayne really gets it. Kendrick Lamar has a lot of love for him. He's always expressed that. He even defended Lil Wayne on Not Like Us, saying that Drake was a slimeball for sleeping with Wayne's girl while Wayne was locked up. But maybe this is Lil Wayne taking Kendrick's kindness for weakness and thinking that the soft spot that he has for Lil Wayne is enough to stop him from attacking Wayne as viciously as he did Drake. And maybe that's true. Maybe he just hates everything Drake stands for, but has too much love for Wayne to ever go at him. But I think Daylight summed up how this beef would look perfectly when he said, "Kendrick Lamar versus Wayne in a nutshell. Lil Wayne would rap, 'Red beam on the Drake, that's a K-Dot.' Kendrick would rap back, 'You the reason our people on leans to begin with.' Battle over." And I think we could leave it there. I don't think Lil Wayne is releasing any diss tracks against Kendrick anytime soon. And if he doesn't, I can't see K-Dot just jumping at Wayne out the blue. Let me know what you guys think. Would you want to see a back and forth between Kendrick and Lil Wayne? I guess Lil Wayne's like the final boss. He kind of defeated, Lil Wayne's protege Drake. That's like level 1. Now he's got to like the final boss. I don't know. Who do you think would win in a rap battle? Who do you think had the better Lil Wayne impression, me or Kendrick Lamar? Stay tuned for more breakdowns of this new Kendrick Lamar GNX album coming very soon, and I will catch you guys in the next one.
There's a lot of little nuggets in both of their disses that if it wasn't for these breakdowns, and salute to guys like this, Rapaholics, because I think they directly get it.